Yeah, so thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon, and I'm happy to see you guys doing a good job, and I'm happy to see young people who are sold out for God. Ask your neighbor, are you sold out for Jesus? What are they saying? Huh? Yeah, so I'm very, very happy. Now it's 5, so I'll take maybe 20 or less minutes because of time. And thank you, Mumo. You call him Emmanuel or Paps, but I call him Mumo. That's the name I know. Thank you, Mumo, for your invitation. I'm humbled to be here today, and my mission in life is to affect young people and to affect people that I come across. And therefore, when I'm invited in gatherings of young people, however busy I am, I'm supposed to be somewhere else this weekend. However busy I am, I find time. And of course, Mua was my good student, so I can't let him down. Let's clap for him. So he asked me to come and speak on something to do with mentorship, and I've entitled my message today on the transformative power of mentorship, bridging the generational gap and unlocking generational potential through mentorship. Because today we are celebrating 2 years and we are also launching the School of Mentorship. So I'm very delighted to talk about mentorship because mentorship has been there from the old times. Mentorship is there in our homes. When an elderly person leads you on what to do on other things, they're actually mentoring you. And a nation that has no mentors, a person without a mentor, is likely to have problems, as I'll show you. So mentorship is something that was there from a long time ago. It is way back when members of the community imparted wisdom and guidance to young generations. When I was growing up, we had elderly people who would guide us, who would tell us what to do and how not to do. Now we know that mentorship has evolved over time, and mentorship has become informal sometimes, and many times it is structured. There are students who SMS me, sometimes I don't know where they get my number from. Including yesterday, I was surprised. Someone has, at least I know those who have thought I have my Airtel number, but someone having my Safaricom number still shocks me. And you know, sometimes they write to me, I want to put you in my CV. I don't know, I'm your mentor. And I'm like, oh really, I'm your mentor, really? Because you see, mentorship has evolved. Sometimes it's informal, and sometimes it's structured. And I believe when we launch the School of Mentorship, probably that mentorship will be structured. Am I right? Yeah, so we need to understand also that technology has transformed the way mentorship is done. In my research, I discovered mentorship does not have to be face-to-face. You can mentor somebody who is in the US, even when you're in Kenya, because of technology. So we need to understand all these issues. We also need to know that generations have changed. And because generations have changed, the way we do mentorship has to be different. For example, we have the silent generation, which is not here today, 1928 to 1945. Hardworking people, people who are very loyal to values, people who are very loyal to what they do, but they resist change at all times. And the silent generation is supposed to mentor the baby boomers. And the baby boomers, I don't think there's any baby boomer here, including myself. Baby boomers were 1946 to 1964. And these are people who are career-driven, who are work-centric, who are technologically challenged. You tell them, let's have classes in online, they don't want. They're like, Havana, face-to-face, nikiona mtu, you know? Technologically challenged. That they don't want to, they just want to, you know, they don't like adapting to new technology. And then you have the Generation X. Some of us are in that generation like myself. Most of you are not. 1965 to 1980. These are independent people, self-reliant. People who are very skeptical about authority. And I've told you many times in my class that I don't like people supervising me. And I also don't like supervising people. Because even God in his own wisdom could not supervise Adam and Eve. Who am I to pretend that I can supervise become year one of 365 students? Who? Si unakuja class ukiwa utaki unakaa? Au unagani? At your own risk. Why I'm talking about this generation is because you need to understand the way you mentor different generations for you to be able to bridge that gap is different. So we have millennials. I think a few in front are millennials. The ones behind are not. Millennials are those guys or Generation Y, they call it, who are born between 1981 and 1996. Anyone in this hall? One? Anybody else? Two. Only 3 people. You can see, I was right. Now these are the guys who are taking tech savvy. They are very socially conscious, very ambitious, very achievement oriented. All they want is they just want to achieve whatever they need to achieve. Then we come to your generation. They are called the Zoomers or Generation Z. Now these ones, hey, so you know how you are. How are you? No. Now this is the generation that has very short span for listening to microwave things. They want to pray now and the answer comes. Miracle. They want to go out, they put, most of them cook these funny things. What are they called? Those things look like snakes. What are they called? Huh? Oh, Idob. Yeah, Idob. Yoyi is as a generation, Yoyi. They have no patience to wait for ready to cook. They're like it even after 3 hours. Wanakoroga tu kidogo, and then whatever. So that's the generation that is here today. This generation is activist-minded. Huh? They will, I remember one time when I was dean of faculty, I really used to enjoy myself. Because the student leaders would call me, even from other faculties, and tell me, leo usikuje tunaenda kwa barabara, for you. And I'm not sure. And then I ask them, why can't you just speak? And then I tell them, why can't you just go back? And I remember one of them, a good friend of mine, I think he is even here, a student, he told me, hadi citizen ifike hapa, ama media yoyote, haiwezi toka kwa barabara. So namuuliza sasa, what is the connection between citizen and you being out of the road? Lazima watu wajue tulikuwa strike. Ndio hii generation. They want to, from a social point of view, they want to say that they like social justice issues. Why I'm talking about this generation is for you to understand the way I mentor the people who are my age is not the way I would mentor you. Because we are different. We are different in our values. We are different in our beliefs. We are different in the way we do. It is, I don't know what's the name of these people who come with the hair as no point. It's called what? It even is awesome. It's like imesokwa kiasi. Whatever. And then I asked one of them, why are you wearing a trouser that is torn? For what? Then they're like, no, it's not torn. That's the way it is. I'm like, oh, really? So why? Alpha, tech-dependent, everything is fun. They are overprotected. They have no social skills. That's the generation. Even in your own homes, even some of you, I think, are in that generation for years. You find that people rarely talk. So, you need to understand that. Because we are saying that mentorship is transformative. But if you do that mentorship, understand the kind of person you are mentoring. I'm assuming you know what mentoring is, who is a mentor and who is a mentee, right? Right? Good. Now, mentoring is in the Bible. Because we are in a kingdom network. I like the name, Emmanuel. Because the only reason we exist is to be in the kingdom and to do things of the kingdom. That's right. Did you know that the kingdom that we have been called into is a kingdom of dominion? Yes. We dominate. So you're supposed to dominate in your class. You're supposed to dominate in all what you are doing. I am supposed to dominate in my market space. Are we together? Pardon, in the mentorship, na ubiri kidogo. And tell your neighbor you need to dominate in the kingdom. The kingdom is not for the weak. I like the way people are singing here. Oh, I just got tired in my legs, because of my generation. Yeah? In our time, we used to sing when we are not very vibrant. When you sing that vibrant, people are like, is this one? Yes, But you have to understand, that is the way things are today, right? That's right. But I like the reggae. I'm going to learn that song, then at night I'll sing it. Because it's part of exercise, That reggae thing, where's that young man? That reggae one was very good. Even if I want, I like the guy who had a guitar. I saw a singer, I saw a serious singer recording things. So, in the kingdom, we are supposed to dominate. And in this kingdom, there was mentorship, and there should be mentorship. If you look in the Bible, if you want a quote for you, if you look in the Bible, Moses mentored Joshua. Moses mentored Joshua when they were bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt. And why mentorship must happen in the kingdom is to ensure there is continuity. Yeah? When Moses died, I imagine how the Israelites were. I imagine they were really, really scared because their savior, in quotes, had gone. And I keep asking myself, how many churches today are doing mentorship? And I'm happy you are launching a school of mentorship in the kingdom because it is needed. How many churches today, if the founder is not there, how many will continue? Or there will be war everywhere and people fighting? It's because there's no mentorship. Yeah? How many companies today, especially family business companies, if there's no mentorship, the company goes. It is said that in every 5 years, 3 out of 5 companies die, family companies, because of lack of mentorship. And therefore, I'm very glad that Kingdom Network, this must have been the Spirit speaking, that Kingdom Network saw it fit to actually have a school of mentorship, where Christians can go and be mentored, where Christians can go and be told, hey, this is how life is done. Because you know what? Even Jesus himself had a mentorship session. Did you know that? That's right. Jesus mentored the disciples. That is why in his 3 years to date, we are talking about Jesus. That's right. Why do you think in those 3 years, the disciples continued and we have continued? It's because there was serious mentorship. And I keep asking myself, why is it that churches don't see it good to do mentorship? Why is it that when a certain person is gone, there's nobody else who takes over and moves on? Yeah? The mentorship was so strong when Jesus did it to the disciples that even the people who saw the disciples, one day they told Peter that you look like you have been with him. Huh? Just imagine the kind of mentorship, the kind of impact that happened. That when Peter was trying to hide when Jesus was being crucified, a lady came and told him, hey, you look like you have been with him. Because when you are mentored, you begin to look like your mentor. You begin to think like your mentor. That is why you must be very careful who mentors you. In fact, we are called Christians because those that were mentored by Jesus Christ, people say they look like Christ. So in the Bible, Jesus mentored the disciples. In the Bible, Elijah mentored Elisha. You know that story? You know? Elijah and Elisha used to go together. And as they went together, it reached a point, people began to discourage Elisha. And they would tell him, your master is going. You know, those things do happen. There's someone you look up to and people are like, this one is going. But he persisted. And when Elijah was going, he said, he asked Elisha, what do you want? He said a double portion. And Elijah told him, Munasoma Bible. Elisha told him,
when you see me go,
you will get it when you see me go. That tells you Elisha persisted until Elijah went. So mentorship is clearly done in the Bible. Alright? Now, Timothy was mentored by who? By Paul. And Paul told Timothy and guided him and encouraged him, instructed him in what to do. So we must understand that mentorship is biblical. And because Kingdom Network is about God, I had to get my notes from the Bible. Because you know I did not come here to give you, I can do a lot of research. But you see, this is like church. So we are saying mentorship is biblical. Now there are people who decided they don't want to be mentored in the Bible. Before I finish. There are people who decided they don't want to be mentored in the Bible. And there are issues every time. And one of the person who decided in the Bible or who refused to be mentored is Rehoboam. You know Rehoboam? Who is Rehoboam? Let's talk. Who is Rehoboam?
He's one of the kings of Israel.
Why wanasoma Biblia? It's good if you don't know. Why wanasoma Biblia? Who is Rehoboam? Huh? Let me hear this side. Who is Rehoboam? Rehoboam was being told by other people, leave these guys alone. Do it this way. And we all know what happened. When he refused the counsel and listened to advice of peers. That's what the Bible says. He listened to the advice of his peers. Sasa wewe nakwambia soma, wacha mambo mingi kuja siyu soma. Wasema huyu naye, hajui tuko ndio nini? Bwana lazima tuenjoy maisha kiasi. Inene kezi yolo. Unajua yolo? Hata mimi siku hizi naambia watu yolo. So he listened to his peers. And of course you know, when he did that, the consequences was rejecting the wisdom, there was rebellion. So when you refuse to be mentored, there will be rebellion. King Saul. You remember King Saul?
That's right.
Who was trying to give guidance to King Saul?
Samuel.
Prophet Samuel. Watu wa Biblia wako hapa inaonekana. Prophet Samuel. And he refused to listen. Yeah? And when he refused to listen, what happened? He failed. And actually the Bible says that God rejected him.
That's right.
Huh? So when you refuse mentorship, there's a likelihood a lot of things will fail. Because you know what? You don't know everything. I'm of the opinion that you don't need to make mistakes that I made.
That's right.
I tell people around my life, don't make the mistakes I made because I will tell you the mistakes I made. You know? But you see, you've got to be there to listen. Judas Iscariot refused to be mentored. Imagine he was among the disciples. But Mwisho alifanya nini?
He hung himself.
Huh?
Betrayed.
Ayai, hata Judas hamjui. Where is Pops? Where is Pops? Walezi yako wapi? Ya wapi Biblia? So Judas Iscariot, of course you know he was one of the 12 disciples. He had the opportunity to be mentored directly by Jesus himself. But instead he decided, this guy is talking things that don't make sense. He sold his master, he sold his mentor, then at the end he hanged himself. I'm trying to show you the importance of mentorship even from a biblical point of view.
That's right.
Because if you don't get mentored, you make unnecessary mistakes. If you don't get mentored, you not only make unnecessary mistakes, but you are likely to fail in life, you're likely to fail in your career, you're likely to fail in what you do. So I would encourage each one of us to actually ensure that we get into this school of mentorship. Then finally, what are the outcomes? What is the impact of mentorship? Number one is wisdom. Wisdom is transferred from one generation to another. Wisdom is transferred from one person to another. So when you don't get mentored, or when there is no mentorship, wisdom goes. You see, some of us have a lot of things in our heads, even the ones seated here. But unless that is downloaded to other people, then one generation becomes a problem. And sometimes when I talk to young people, because I'm invited in schools to talk to students, talk to teachers, and all those kind of things, and I listen to students speaking to me in Form 1, in Form 2, in Form 3, in Form 4, wherever, you realize that many times the mentorship aspect is not there. And I keep asking them, why is it that these things you're telling me, you are not telling the people that you should be telling? And they keep telling me, you guys take us differently. The other day I had a discussion with my sister and my nieces, just the other day. And they were saying, we were talking about something, and my nieces were saying that, your generation now, my generation and my sister, your generation does not understand us. I asked them, what do you mean? And then they said, you've stayed with students, so that's why we tell you a few things, because somehow you seem to understand. Mother has understand. And then they start giving me examples. I was really amused. They gave me very interesting examples, For example, let me ask you, if today, God forbid, if today you are pregnant, and you went and told your mother today, what do you think your mother will say? Be honest. Huh? I want to hear you now. Who wants to try? Huh? Sasa mnacheka nini? I want to show you why mentorship is very important before I tell you a few things. What do you think your mother will say today? Jesus coming back. Jesus is coming back. Mtaacha hapa mimi niende mbinguni wenyewe. So if today let's say you are a gentleman, let's put it the other way around. You are a gentleman and you went and told your mom, I made a mistake. There's a girl who is pregnant for my child, and I have to leave school to take care of the girl. What do you think your mother will say? Or father? Huh? Simonge. Huh? Ati?
It happened.
Sasa mnasema nini? Simonge. Atasema nini? Atasema nini? Ati failure. Hata atasema kitu kingine failure. Mwingine atasema nini? Ati what? What is your expectation? What do you expect us to say? And you are pregnant? And you are not married?
Disappointed.
No, you don't curse, but you are like, according to a few friends of mine your age, they told me, the first thing that you people will say, I like the way you say you people. The first thing you people will say is, sasa, hii nayo ulitoa wapi? Mwenye hii ni nani na wapi? But you see, the truth of the matter is, it's not because your parents are bad. No. It's because of the way they have been mentored themselves. And it is because of, I keep telling young people, there is no parent who doesn't want the best for you. And I tell young people, including the ones in my house, you must be responsible, you must be accountable. Your generation does not want to say where they are going, right? Yes. In fact, it is possible that you are here and your parents do not you know? And I keep saying, just be responsible. Anybody I speak to, young people, I tell them, be responsible and be accountable. Why? Because it is a disaster, something happens in town, and you told me you are in Rongai, and then I see you flipping, a citizen flipping. I'm like, huh? Who is this? Who looks like so and so? But this one, that is what we are saying. Even biblically, it's very important. You must be accountable, you must be responsible. So we are saying that when there is proper mentorship, wisdom is transferred from one generation to another. Experiences are shared, lessons are learned, mistakes are avoided. Very, very important. So when there is mentorship, like now if you are in first year, get a mentor in second year or third year. Senior. Lakini don't get the one who tells you, beba hizi vitu mbele bwana. Beba mbele hadi third year, unaweza beba. Unaweza beba tu soups, unabeba hadi hapo third year hivi. Huyo si mentor mzuri. Yeah? So get a mentor to tell you this the way things are. I normally tell students, because you are students, and for me, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, 100% sure. I know before anybody comes to my class, they have already been told what to expect. That I know. Not only my class, any other class. Kuna wale wanaambia huyo mwalimu anakujanga late. Usikuje mapema. That is bad mentorship. Yeah? So lessons are learned. Get to know from the people ahead of you. How did you get a first class? How did you get a second upper? Get to know so that you start early, you avoid mistakes. Because some people think I'll start reading in third year when I get my option. Little do they know your classification starts in first year. So wisdom is passed, lessons are learned, mistakes are avoided, and experiences are shared. It doesn't make sense for you to make mistakes which other people made. Number 2, there is mutual learning. Mutual learning. Now, mentorship is not a one-way affair. I also have a lot to learn from you, for example. The people that I teach, especially at our master's level, I normally tell them, even if you check my course outline, anybody I've ever taught, I normally say there are 2 major rules. 2. 1, nobody knows everything, including your lecturer. Who told you lecture everything? Unaweza hata leta kihesabu hapo wote mua amesolve na lecturer ameshindwa. Because it's not because the lecturer is not wise. It's because we have mutual learning. So understand that even as you mentor others, you also learn from them. Because each one of us have something to give. There must be mutual learning, there must be mutual growth. Yeah? So it is important. Number 3, impact is empowerment and confidence. When you go through mentorship, you are empowered. You are able to reach your full potential. As a young generation, you need to be more confident. You need more clarity. So mentorship helps you to be more confident and to have clarity in life. Remember I said you must have the right mentor. Don't have a mentor who tells you weekend tunaenda mbaa. I used to tell young people here when I was doing faculty, mtu akikwambia wewe kwa first year akikwambia muende mbaa, mwambie muende kesha. Si ndio? Si hata kesha hakuna kulala. So hata msituende kesha. Si ndio? You see, mtu akikwambia unajua we need to go, let's go and do a jig. Do you call them jigs? Somebody in our generation. What do you call these dances that people do out there? Mnajifanya nani alisema Wakristo hawajui? Kwani sisi binadamu? Who told you that is bad? So we are just guys here. I went to University of Campus and I was serious with God. I am still very, very serious with God. There are things I can't. We are human. But I keep saying Christianity is not equal to glory. No. Who said that because you're Christian, you don't have to say? And that you know what you do. And if now you know what you know, I normally tell if you read the Bible, you will know how serious Christianity is. Who said because you are Christian, watu wakukanyage? Who? Ati sasa because mimi ni Mkristo, ati sasa watoto wajitukane, ati achana na huyo mwalimu. I will get you properly. I shape you properly. I tell you, I'm giving you the last option. Christianity is not boring. And when someone tells you is mentoring you to go and do some funny things in bars, bring them to Kesha and do these jigs you are doing here that have made me tired already. And you are blessed, isn't it? Yeah. So when there's mentorship, there's confidence. Christians are supposed to be confident people. I normally tell people, me even in heaven, if there is talking, I will talk. Even if there is. Even in the Bible, Ezekiel asked, people are very funny things. They say, oh, don't ask God questions. What do you mean? He's my father. Which father don't you ask? Don't you ask your father's questions? So when did people get this mentorship that, oh, you don't ask God questions? My friend, even Ezekiel decided to tell God, I'm not dying. I will not die. I can give you 15 years more. Personally, I am telling God I need to be at least 120 before we talk. Then we talk. Hii miaka kidogo sijui 70 sijui watu wanasoma Bible. Mimi nasomanga ile ya 120. That is why I am looking for wealth. Kingdom wealth. Ndio nikiwa hiyo 120 watu wanafikiria niko 60. Because niko na naenda huko beach. Huko najianika huko. That is, God intended Christians to live great lives. Who is going to sponsor Kingdom Network to go and reach the young people? Sini nyinyi, utasponsor bila pesa. In fact, the Bible says money answers all things. All. But it is not everything. That is why money must be my servant. I send money. I tell money enda hapo, inaenda. Naambia pesa saa hii najisikia gari inakuja. It will never be my master. I will never look down upon anybody because money is not my master. And I believe in this kingdom, you must be wealthy enough to support Kingdom Network. How will you buy these instruments without money? The last time I went to see you, I was invited by one of my HR students who was your chairman. I think when they were leaving. And they were doing some small arambe for these things. Are you still doing it? Yes. Hamjamaliza? Mwenye kazi hapa. Kwani hivi vitu ni pesa ngapi? 1.2 million. Sasa mmekusanya ngapi? You are jokers. Tuite tutakuja harambee tuiteni. Tutakuletea pesa. But I contributed. That day I was there. There was a number they gave there and I contributed. And then they were having a mission, I think, to Nakuru. We also contributed. I'm trying to tell you, if you don't allow yourself to be mentored, you have a problem. We must be when you are thinking about the kingdom, you must ask yourself, how is this kingdom going to expand? A kingdom that does not expand is a kingdom that is about to die. And a kingdom will expand, because this is kingdom network. It means that we should go to Tanzania, we should go to Uganda, right? We should go to Nigeria. When you are going to those places, call me, I'll pay for myself. I normally pay for myself things, so that people don't, they don't tell me to speak what they want, so that I speak what I want. Because after I brought, that is the kingdom attitude. They don't want to be, So it is important for you to be mentored because you are empowered and confident. Then number 4, you build the bridge, or you connect the past, connect the present and the future. The generations across are connected. And you break all the barriers. Mentorship breaks barriers. It dispels stereotypes. You see, I'm here because we can break barriers. There are people, if you call them as a student, they will not come, by the way. When you are, si kweli? Kwanza wajua wamesoma kidogo kama mimi. Shindwa hawa watu, wanajua value kweli. But you see, in the kingdom, barriers are broken. That is why we will dance here, but you go to class, if you don't pass, you get a soup. Ama? Tutadance hapa hata tupige tano, tutadance tu, but tukifika Ndaro, nasikia mnaitaka Ndaro, tukifika Ndaro, naona ni sekretari wa Siwa naanguka nini? Because hapa hakuna barriers. Yeah? So it is very important that we get mentored. Now it is better to see it. Finally. We say finally many times. What are the best practices in mentorship? 1, have goals. As the person doing mentorship, establish your goals. Those goals must be very clear, must be very specific, must be achievable for your relationship. And let me say that mentorship works with trust. You cannot mentor somebody who doesn't trust you, because you must trust each other. I must trust you that if I tell you something, I will not hear it in the Christian Union. Kuna watu wa Kristo ni kama kameme, ukipiga tu hivi. So many goals of trust. So goals, and those goals must be challenging, must be specific, achievable and all that. Number 2, build trust and rapport between yourselves. How do you do that? You must be a listener. Your generation sometimes doesn't listen much, but you must be a listener. You must have empathy. I personally try all the time to put myself in the shoes of other people, many times. Even when I'm sorting a student issues, especially when I was in administration, I put myself in their shoes. And sometimes the ones above me would feel like I'm favoring the student, but I'm not. I'm just being empathetic. I'm just putting myself in their shoes. The rules are there to be followed, right? But in strategy, rules are there to be broken. And my area is strategy. Rules are there to be broken, not to be followed. Breaking does not mean you go and do bad things. It means you expand your horizon and see what you can do. And then communication and feedback is very important in mentorship. You must be open, you must be honest, you must be constructive in your communication, you must give regular feedback. And then continuous learning. I normally tell people when I go to speak to young people, I finished schooling, but I'm still learning. When you do PhD, you finish schooling, but I'm still learning. Every day I learn something. So you must have that attitude of continuous learning. So as I finish, let us build a culture of mentorship. Let's support one another. Let's ensure that the networks are working. so that when we look at Kingdom Network 10 years to come, it will be better than it is today because there was proper mentorship. So with that, I say, because of time, I want to congratulate you for the work that you have done. I want to congratulate you for the second anniversary. And I believe in a few minutes we'll be launching the School of Mentorship. And I say God bless you, and please keep doing in the kingdom. And as the Bible says, occupy until I come. Thank you so much, and God bless you.